Yo guys, it's DTBB. Today we're going to be ranking every player in NBA Infinite, starting from the best all the way to the worst. So without further ado, let's go. So first off, we're gonna put a tier for the ones that are not out yet, and there's not enough players that have that card to make a full analysis and conclusion of the player. So I'm gonna add that right now. Okay, so first player I'm gonna add is Curry and Kawhi Leonard. I know Curry just came out, but not many players have him, and also Luka. So first off, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, he's okay. He's alright, honestly. He's a really solid gold player. He's not too bad. If you want buckets, then he's your player. I would put him in A tier. He's not too bad. He's not too good. He's either a high A or a low S because he just gets buckets. He's not too bad, but he's not that overpowered like all of the other players. Okay, so next up we got LeBron James. Now, LeBron James might be a hard choice for me since not that many people use him, but I'm gonna say he's in a high A tier or a low S tier. He's not too bad at all. He can get buckets if he can. He got a lot of dribble moves. It's just that not too many people have him. I might actually put either one of them in S tier. It's debatable. Next up, we got Nikola Jokic. He's actually a really good player. I'll put him over Giannis Antetokounmpo or LeBron James because he can actually get boards for you at a consistent rate, and he also has this move called an offensive engine that helps the player with the ball if he's screening or him get like more points and get more offensive plays. I think that's like a really good ability for him, and I feel like he's a really solid center, and in my opinion, the best. So next up, we got AD. Now, some people are complaining that they shouldn't add AD as a gold yet, but next up, we got AD. I'm gonna put him in not out yet because not that much people have AD, to be honest. Next up, we got KD. KD's a hard one, honestly. I've seen a lot of players use KD, and they've been pretty satisfied with him. He's a pretty okay player, I'd say. He's one of those golds that are really solid at getting you buckets, but it's not as good as some gold players. Now, you might be thinking that if you put KD like right in the middle of Giannis, who's better, LeBron James or KD? I honestly do not know. Like, KD's a much better shooter than LeBron James. They're really like the same most of stuff. So I'm gonna just put them in the same category. Next up, we got the man himself and my personal favorite player, Joel Embiid. Now, right now, I'm gonna have to put him in the broken tier. Right now. This might be subject to change, but right now he's in broken for me because he just has you can spam pump fake and then get an easy dunk. He is one of the few players that has this ability to do that. So next up, we got James Harden. Now, James Harden isn't out yet. Like, not much people have him, so I'm just put him there. Next up, we got Dame Lillard. Now, I've seen that he's like a really bad player. Like, he's not the best gold player out there. So I'm gonna put him in low A tier. I mean, the only reason I'm putting him low A tier is because he's a gold player, and I feel like gold players should be ranked a little bit higher than like other players. But he's really bad gold. Alright, so next up, we got Jason Tatum. Now, Jason Tatum, I'm gonna say this is gonna be a kind of controversial thing I'm gonna put him, but I'm gonna put him in a B tier. He's not that good at all. I just told you guys that like Damian Lillard was gonna put in A, but I feel like that this dude is a low A tier or a high B tier. He can get buckets, but he is not as good as the other gold player tiers. This might be sound a little bit controversial because I know a lot of Jason Tatum fans. I love how he plays, but in my opinion, he's just a low A for me. Next up, Devin Booker. Now, Devin Booker, he's not good. He's not good at all, honestly. Like, I don't like this dude at all. I'm gonna put all the gold players in A tier, but I'm gonna rank them and where they're at. So Devin Booker would be the low A tier. He's not that good at all. Honestly, like, Devin Booker shouldn't really be a gold tier in my opinion, but He is. Now on to the epics. Kyrie Irving isn't really out yet. It's out, but like there's no one using him. Next up, we got my boy Bam Adebayo. So Bam, I really don't know for this dude. I feel like Bam is okay, I guess. I always see his price always going down low. I guess he's a solid player. He's like the definition of like a good solid player that can get buckets. I also heard that his post up was pretty good and like his putback's pretty good. So I'm gonna put him around the A tier. He's not too bad. He's not too good, bro. He's just all-around player, a really solid player to get buckets. I think that he's a little bit better than Giannis Antetokounmpo because he can actually get buckets for players and stuff. But that's just my opinion. That might seem a little bit controversial that Epic's better than a gold player, but that's just my opinion. Next up, we got Jimmy Butler. Now, Jimmy is gonna be a low A tier for me. Now, Jimmy Butler is pretty good. Honestly, he's a really good player. Honestly, this is also going to be a controversial pick because I know a lot of people that like Jimmy Butler, but there's not much people using that dude, and I think I know why. He doesn't really have those moves to make it good. Next up, we got Zion Williamson. If I made this tier list like about when the glitch was happening, he would be in my broken tier. But right now, he's like a low B tier or a high C tier, honestly, because right after they buffed him and like took away his exclusive ability, he's been not doing that much, honestly. A lot of the Zion Williamson players just stopped using him, and like he went back to like being unused. So if he was using the glitch, he would be broken, in my opinion. But right now, he's just a low B tier or a high C tier. Everyone stopped using Zion Williamson after the glitch was patched. Next up, we got Trae Young. He's not out yet. I mean, he is out yet, but like, you know what I mean. He's not out yet. This is going to be super controversial right now. I'm going to put something very controversial. I think Ja Morant is an S tier. I know, controversial, very controversial. But I feel like that Ja Morant is the best point guard in this game. Controversial. I'm saying some controversial stuff. I know. Ja Morant can get tomahawk dunks anytime. Like, he can also have these crossover moves. I remember a good dude that used Ja Morant. He would cook everyone and use tomahawk dunk. It was crazy, honestly. He's one of the best point guards in this game, and I feel like he should be S tier. But again, it's my opinion. So, next up, we got Towns. Now, Towns has gone from not used to used, like, a lot. It went from, like, people started using him just out of nowhere, honestly. Because when they found out that he can shoot well, he can rebound well, they just started picking him up, honestly. So, he's like a low 18 for me. I feel like he had his rise out of nowhere. People started to use him. So, he's pretty solid, honestly. He can shoot, he can get buckets for you. I'm actually going to put Kevin Durant a little bit higher, and I'm going to put Towns right next to Bam Adebayo. I feel like he's a little bit better than Bam and most of the centers in this game. This might be a hot take. Next up, we got Sabonis. Okay, Sabonis not that used, honestly. I feel like he's kinda underrated, just a little bit underrated. The only thing he's really good at is getting rebounds for your team. Yeah, so Sabonis isn't that used, so I'm gonna just put him in a high B tier because he's not too bad as a center. So let's get on with it. Next up, we got another controversial pick from me. I feel like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best point guards in this game. This is why I'm gonna put him in S tier. Shai can get buckets, honestly. If you upgrade him to an 85 overall, he can literally get buckets for you. His mid-range is crazy good. You just need his behind the back move. That's one of his most greatest moves that he has. That's why I rate him at S tier, because there's a dude called Napoleon, I'm pretty sure it's Hall of Fame, and he just uses Shai. He's a 93 Shai, and he goes crazy. Like, it's really good, honestly. Next up, we got Rudy. He's not out yet. And next up, we got a kind of controversial pick from me, Siakam. Now, Siakam's been my go-to player ever since. But right now, he's not too good. He's not too good, bruh. Like, everyone went from using him so much and to the point that no one is using him. Like, I've been even thinking about selling Siakam for a long time now, but I just want to keep him, though. He's just my favorite player in real life. I just don't want to let go of him, but he's not too good. I mean, he can get ankle breakers with his crossover move, but that's the only thing he's good at. Next up, we got Julius Randle. I'ma just say here first, he's dog shit. Honestly, he shouldn't be a player at all. He's so bad. They should just buff him. I feel like he's the player that they should buff. Honestly, buff him really hard. Honestly, only reason I'm putting him as a low B tier, I'm giving him pity because he's an epic player. But if you try to use him, he is so bad. Like, he's so bad. Next up, we got Jamal Murray. He's out, but no one uses him. And Jared Jackson Jr. No one uses JJJ or Jamal Murray. De'Aaron Fox, he's talk shit as well, bro. He needs to get a buff. He's not good at shooting. Even though in real life, he's a really good shooter. Honestly, he's one of the best shooters in the game right now, in my opinion. But in this game, he's dog shit at shooting. Horrible. So they need to buff his shooting. That's why he's a C tier for me. He can't really do anything else. Next up, we got Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is so good. If you know how to use him, if you know how to facilitate him, he's the best player, honestly. Because if you know his shooting skills and moves and you know how to use them, he can be a deadly shooter. A really deadly shooter. That's why I'm going to put him in front of KD. That might be a controversial opinion. I'm going to put him in front of KD. Okay, so next player we got is Drew Holiday. I don't think anyone really uses him. So I'm just going to say it first. He's dog shit, honestly, trash. I'm just going to put him C tier. But I can see why no one uses him. He can't really shoot as much as like the other players. And he doesn't have those moves to like make himself good. So I'm going to just put him in back of De'Aaron Fox because no one really uses him. Actually, a change of thought, I'm going to put him the back of B. Next up, we got DeMar DeRozan. Pretty mid player, really mid. Honestly, definition of mid, honestly. That's how mid he is. I mean, he can get buckets, I guess. There's not really much DeMar DeRozan players, but there's enough for me to analyze that he's a good mid-range shooter. That's the only thing I can say about him. A B tier. Next up, we got another S tier coming from me. I feel like this is a little bit less controversial because I know a lot of people who main Paul George. That's why I'm going to put him S tier or broken, honestly. That's how good he is. He's a high S tier for me. He is so good. He can get buckets all the time if you got him. He can dunk and he can shoot the ball. You just got to know how to use him like every player in this tier. You just got to know how to use this player and get buckets with him. Next up, we got Jalen Green. He ain't out yet, so I'm going to put him not out yet. Next up, we got Klay Thompson. Now, people might think Klay Thompson is bad. I think that he's a B tier for me. He's a B tier because he can shoot the ball if he gets wide open, but he doesn't have those ankle-breaking moves to, like, shake the player away. I feel like he's good for wide-open mid-range shots or free-throw shots. I'm going to put him right in the middle of Domantas Sabonis and Zion because he's not too good, but I feel like he's a little bit better than him. Next up, we got Porzingis. I mean, he's a pretty solid player because I feel like he is a little bit better. I'm going to put him in a B-plus tier. He is a solid shooter and a solid blocker. He can get blocks. Not to mention, in my opinion, he's the best point guard shooter in this whole game. So you have to use him for some shooting wide open because you don't have any dribble moves as Porzingis. Next up, we got B.I. Now, B.I., no one really uses him, but he's a really good player, honestly. He's okay. He's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. He's a pretty solid player, honestly. Really, really solid. I feel like he can get buckets, but he's not really a shooter. but BI is really good. He got some ankle breaker dribble moves that can shade the defender. But yeah, he's okay. Next up, we got Lauri Markkanen. He is a dog, honestly. One of the most underrated players in this whole game. Really, really good at his shooting. I'm gonna put him in a high A tier, low A tier. Really controversial, I know, pretty controversial, very controversial. Because I feel like he can get buckets. He's a good shooter. He's a really good shooter. He can get rebounds. He's a really good rebounder. He is really, really solid from every point. He's a really good player. Next up, we're on to the rare players. We got Bogey. Bogey, he's dog shit, in my opinion. I know a lot of people like Bojan Bogdanovic, but he's not my favorite player. He is really bad, honestly. He doesn't have any good dribble moves. He's more or less like a more shooter player. He has a lot of shooting abilities to make his shooting. So he's good for wide open shots. But for anything else, you're not going to get that wide open shot because you don't have any good dribbling moves. I guess he's okay. Next we got LaMelo Ball. He's also pretty solid, honestly. He's good for open shots, but that's mostly he can do. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, so he's a pretty solid player. Let's move on. Next up, we got Tyrese Halliburton. No one really uses him, but if I could imagine, he's not too bad. Like, all of these B players are the people that not many people use, or they're just solid players. So that's why I'm putting a lot of players in the solid tier list, because a lot of players in this game are really solid. They're not too good, they're not too bad. So I'm gonna put Tyrese a little bit higher. Next up, we got Draymond Elliott, and now we're moving on to full blues tiers. We got Aaron Gordon as our first one. He's a good dunker. That's the only thing he's good at. He's a really good dunker. You can get dunks whenever you want. I'm gonna put him, controversial a little bit, I'm gonna put him in a high B tier, because if you want a dunker, Aaron Gordon's your guy. He's one of the best dunkers in this game. Other than Zion Williamson, he is a good dunker. So if you want a dunk, then Aaron Gordon's your guy. He also has a little bit of shooting, so that can help. Next up, we got Andrew Wiggins. I don't remember if it's Andrew Wiggins that has the glitch or not. I might have to fix that later on. But I'm going to think that he's the one that has the glitch player. So I'm going to put him in broken for now. I'm going to check if he's the player I'm talking about. Okay, next up we got Jalen Green. He's dog shit, honestly. He's such a bad player. I feel like his only good thing he can do is dunking. And that's it. I mean, he's an okay shooter, but he's not that good of a shooter. Again, like Bogey, he got a lot of dunking abilities, but like he's so little that no one really uses him for dunking. You always try to use him to like get a shot off, and he doesn't even have any good dribbling abilities, so he's not a good player. I'm gonna just put him in the B tier. Next up is Marcus Smart. Honestly, he's pretty underrated in my opinion. Marcus Smart can get buckets, but he's also a really good stealer. He gets a lot of steals. That's why I'm gonna put him in a high B tier. It's gonna be pretty controversial, but if you upgrade him to a high 88 or 87, or you upgrade him to R7, it's really easy to upgrade like rares, like 75 overalls. He can get like a lot of steals for you and a lot of points. I'm pretty sure he also has like a dribble move that can cross out a player. I'm not sure, but even though he's pretty good at stealing, he's a pretty nice player. Next we got Spencer Dinwiddie. If this was like a little bit back, like back in December, I would have put it on in like A tier. But right now, he is a B tier for me. He's a solid player, very solid player. I mean, he gets buckets and people widely use him. He's real easy to get to an 88 overall R7, so he's a really good deal for shooters. He's a really solid player. If you want buckets, if you want shooting, just use Spencer Dinwiddie. Next up, we got Brook Lopez. Okay, so Brook Lopez is a really good center. He's one of the best budget centers in this whole game, in my opinion. That's why he's going up to the A tier. I feel like he's a really good center. He got a really good ability called target lock, and he's a really good blocker. If you upgrade this nigga to R7, he can get blocks for you anytime. His target lock ability makes him really easy to get blocks, and he also knows how to shoot. He's a really good shooter. He's not as best as like Cat, but he can shoot. He can shoot the ball really good. He can get some surprise frees here and there. Next we got Clint Capella. Clint Capella, I guess he's okay. He's an okay player. Not too bad, not too good. I'm gonna put him around C or B tier. Put him in around a low B tier because he's a pretty solid rebounder. You get rebounds, and if you upgrade it to R7, like I said, you can get rebounds for you. I wouldn't say he's better than other players, but I would say he's kind of mid. If I were to come back and like change some of the stuff, I would put Julius Randle at a C tier or D tier. But this is earlier recording, so I can't really do that. Next up, we got D. Russell. I mean, right after everyone saw that he was not really worth it, he's a C tier or a D tier. Everyone realized that he couldn't really shoot the ball much, and like he's a really useless point guard. His worth started to go down, his best started to go down, and like people less and less stopped using D-Russ. So now he's a D tier. He's not a good shooter, honestly, in my opinion. I mean, I guess he can ankle breaker, but he can't shoot at all, in my opinion. And then I remembered, RJ Bear is the dude that's really overpowered right now because he has a dribble move that always goes to an ankle break. And it's really overpowered because you can just go in and dunk the ball right after you get the ankle breaker. So now that I remembered, RJ Bear is supposed to be one that's broken. And Andrew Wiggins can go down to the B tier because he's solid, like I said. He can get dunks, he can get stuff, but he's not as good as people like RJ Bear. He's kind of broken right now, RJ. But Andrew Wiggins, he's okay, I guess. Next up, we got Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, I guess he's kind of okay. I guess he's a solid player for getting you buckets. He's better than D-Russ, though. He's better than De'Aaron Fox because he can actually shoot. And I feel like Spencer Dinwiddie is like basically Jordan Poole, basically. Like they're literally like the same thing in terms of like shooting. I feel like he can get buckets, so he's pretty solid. Keldon Johnson is so bad. He has no significance to the game. He's really bad. I don't feel like he should be in this game at all. He's so bad. I feel like, I don't know why I R7'd him a while ago. He doesn't really do anything. His moves and abilities do not really amount to the game. He's just a D tier for me. So that's it. He's so bad. So now we got the 60s and the 70 overall players. First up, we got Mike Conley. He doesn't amount to anything. He's just terrible. Next up, we got Kyle Lowry. He's pretty bad. Like a low C tier is the best I can put for Kyle Lowry. He's really like bad. Only thing he's really good at is stealing the ball. That's it. But yeah. Also forgot to mention, I rated John Collins. He's a C tier for me. So next up, we got Derrick Rose. He's really bad. I feel like people tried Derrick Rose and realized he is super bad of a play. I feel like the only thing he's really good at is going inside and like laying the ball up or something like that. That's the only thing he's good at. I can't even think of anything. I'll put him in D tier. He's gonna be the only D in there, and I'm thinking of putting Bogdanovic a little bit higher. We'll see later on. But Derrick Rose is bad. Next up, oh my god, this dude, bro. Yeah, Montrezl Harrell. You guys already know how I'm gonna put this dude, bro. Right now, he got a glitch on him, and a bunch of people are like just using this ability and stuff. So right now, he is broken player. Broken. He is broken right now. It might change subject. It might change to like terrible. When the glitch patch is gonna go on terrible. No one has him. He's really bad other than the glitch. But right now he's broken. Next up we got Tobias Harris. He is not bad of a player, honestly. Also rated Fred VanVleet. He's not too bad also. Tobias Harris can get buckets, and he's a really good shooter. So I feel like Tobias Harris can get your defense and your offense. He is a really good all-around player. He just released. Next up, we got Andre Drummond. Now, if you upgrade this dude to an R7, he can get rebounds. That's all I'm going to say for this dude. This dude is a rebounding machine. That's why I'm going to put him at a B tier. Also, John Collins. John Collins is a little bit of a higher B tier. Because now that I think about it, he can get dunks. He's a good dunker. If you grade him to an R7, a really good R7, he is a bucket getter. So, next up, we got Ricky Rubio. Like, no one uses Ricky Rubio, so I'm just going to put him in terrible, 69. Such with these other players. I mean, they're like 69 overall. Like, they don't really amount to anything. So I'm just going to put them in their respectful spots. And for me, Simons, he's really bad, honestly. No one really uses him, I guess. Tim Hardaway Jr. He's okay. Actually, he's pretty okay. My boy Timmy's a C tier. He's not too bad. He's okay, I guess. And the last player is Aaron Gordon. I don't think he's out yet. If he is, he's probably going to put in terrible. And that's it, guys. This is the full tier list. And hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe. It's been a long video. My longest video in like a long time. So I hope you guys like the video and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out!